How porn and masturbation change your personality. You might not even realize it's happening when you found porn and how you reinforce it every time you watch. I'm Dr. Trish Leigh. Stay with me in this video because first I'm going to explain to you, number one, what your personality is. Number two, how that personality developed and what it's doing for you. It's a survival mechanism. Number three, I'm going to talk about how porn impacts the development and how you keep using a personality that is not serving you. And lastly, number four is your brain tip strategy, what you can do to turn this thing around so you can leave porn behind, tap into the best personality that you can use, and rock out your best life. Okay, number one, what is your personality? Your personality, first and foremost, is the way that you perceive yourself. So think about that for a second, because yes, it leads to how other people perceive you, but you're using this persona or giving off this way of being and way of interacting with the world based upon what you believe about yourself. So if you use porn and if you're objectifying women and if you're masturbating to self-soothe yourself, that's using a personality type that isn't serving you, because that's not the personality of your full potential. It's actually a misperception of yourself. Now, when you misperceive yourself and you're no longer the true authentic version of yourself, you're this version that needs self-soothing and that has anxiety about the world, it creates more fear and anxiety. It leads to a decrease in motivation, lack of focus. It makes you feel depressed. Now, follow me into number two so we can connect the dots here. The reason that this happens is because when you were young, you found porn and it made your brain and body feel good. And so what happened was you learned that it's a tool to go to so that you can feel good, to offset stress, anxiety, family dysfunction, chaos, boredom. So it became the thing that you did. But every time you go to it, you're inadvertently reinforcing the pattern of fear and anxiety in your brain. It's a literal brain pattern. The way that your brain works, the quick version, is that our brains use electrical energy. If your brain is using too much fast speed and too much slow speed simultaneously, instead of perfect speed in the middle, what happens is you feel overwhelmed and anxious. It's a brain that wants to be calmed and stimulated simultaneously. Now stay with me, this is something new. When you're young, your brain makes lots of the slow speed. And if you have anxiety or especially trauma, it starts to make lots of that extra fast speed in childhood or adolescence. So now when you find porn, the brain pattern that you're using is the perfect one to be offset by how good porn feels, because there is lots of slow speed because you're young. That's how it works developmentally, and because you have a stressor. But now this is what happens. As you continue to consume porn, it keeps the fast and the slow speed cranking. Where if your brain was developing in a healthy way, that slow speed would come down. If you didn't have stressors or trauma, there wouldn't be as much fast speed. So as you developed, if you weren't watching porn, your brain would have developed differently. You would have had a different personality, one that was a reflection of the healthy brain pattern. Are you with me? I hope you're still with me. I know it's complicated, but the point is, porn changed the way that your brain performed when you were young. And it keeps you using that young brain pattern. So it's time to grow up your brain pattern and to become healthier so your personality can be optimized as your brain is optimized. Now, number three, what happens as a reflection of using this young brain pattern? Your emotional maturity is stunted along with that delayed brain development. So it means that your self-awareness is low. Your ability to self-regulate without porn is low. Now we know porn use and masturbation use is about mood regulation. It's about feeling good to offset feeling bad, bored, or stressed. So that is not healthy self-regulation. It's unhealthy self-regulation that you learned when you were young and you got caught into the feedback loop of it. What that leads to is decreased social awareness. So now this perception of yourself has changed. You have decreased self-worth and you're thinking more negative things about yourself because your brain is stuck in that young pattern that was stressed out and it's still using too much slow speed. It makes you look at your parents differently. It makes you look at women differently. It makes you look at your friends differently. It creates more anxiety in the world. You look at the world differently. You look at it as a more difficult place to exist, which reinforces the need to use porn. It keeps you stuck. And it's stuck based upon the brain pattern and the personality. So that's the social awareness piece. So fourth is social regulation, being able to navigate relationships with healthy communication and interactional style. This becomes warped because of the personality that you're stuck in, because of the brain pattern you're stuck in. So number 4, what do we do about this? Clearly, it's time to leave porn behind. But in this video, what I want to highlight is if you can change that perception of yourself as you stay out of the screen, your brain pattern is going to heal. You'll optimize the way that your brain works. At the same time, you'll change the way that you're thinking about yourself, increase your self-worth, get on purpose, get back to thinking about what little you wanted to do and go do those things in the world and become that healthier version by perceiving yourself with higher self-esteem and higher self-worth. And I know it's difficult to change your perception of yourself. The easiest way to change that perception is to do something new, act in a new way. Stop watching porn because that will keep you in a shame loop. When you stop, there's less shame. That will start to go away. Here's the tip for the day. Start doing an act that brings you dignity and it puts you in integrity. Go do something that makes you feel worthy, that's important to you. One gentleman I work with is volunteering at an animal shelter. Totally awesome. So now he's in integrity. He had to kind of go through some hoops and some bureaucracy and some red tape to be able to do this. But now he's contributing to the world in a way that's meaningful to him in dignity and integrity, staying out of the screen and contributing to the world. That's how you change your perception of yourself, because you wake up in the morning going, I'm the dude who contributes, not I'm the dude who sits in my room watching porn and masturbating. You're no longer the dude that hides that. So that's how you change your perception, by doing the things that create dignity and integrity, which shifts the way that you think about yourself. That will begin to heal your brain. It'll unwire that porn brain pattern. And by acting in a new way, you're rewiring your brain to move in the right direction. And if you continue to do that, you hardwire in this new, better brain pattern for the rest of your life. So let's get out there. Let's use that personality that contributes and rock out your best self so that you can leave the screen behind, decrease anxiety, increase focus and motivation, and have an amazing life. Okay, that's my hope for you. If you're looking for help on this journey, please reach out to me, drtrishleigh.com. I have programs of all different shapes and sizes to be able to serve you. Okay, and as always, remember, control your brain or it'll control you.